Okay, so we've worked through then the kleshas. Let's see. Actually, what's up here? So, if you like kind of think about the kleshas also along with those layers of the body. So last week, we talked about the food body and the energy body the last couple weeks. So I'm thinking that the first three of the kleshas listed out here, ignorance, and then aversion or avoidance, and then attachment, attraction, desire, whatever you want to call it, that all of those have a lot to do with that first two layers of the body, the food body and the energy body. And so helping us to work on those kleshas also like helps us to go further in to those, more inner parts of ourselves. So these are really messy notes, but these were my notes on the koshas. So here's that food body here, and then one more in is the mind body, and or not mind body, the energy body. And so these two, as we go more inward and get more in touch with the mind body here, these two parts here, the food and the energy, I feel like is where like a lot of our suffering comes from. And so that is the goal of this action yoga, right, is to get rid of the kleshas, to burn up the seeds of the kleshas, which is what keeps us so strongly attached to the material world. And so it's our food body and our energy body that have been affected by the material world. And then these more interior parts of us, our mind body, and then this next one here, the Vijnamaya kosha, is even further away from those effects until finally, we get to this very middle thing, the divine, the Ananda Maya kosha, which I think that if we can go all the way into there, that's kind of the goal, I guess, of yoga. And I think even for the householder to be able to reach that, it's like a religious experience of whatever religion you may be. So like following along again, if we're going to kind of talk about the koshas and the kleshas, in relationship to each other, then this egoity, the I amness, I kind of think about that being related to that third kosha, the mind body, and that we use that higher self, that inner self that we have been, that we continue to work on developing a relationship with. We use that to practice this discernment and to make choices in our everyday life that like go beyond the ego, so beyond the food body and the energy body. We choose to not follow our aversions and not follow our attractions, but go for something higher by using this higher self, okay, up in the third layer of us. And then eventually by practicing over and over again in this world, making decisions that are not slave to our ego, through continued practice, we reach that fourth kosha, I think, that eventually we start to approach this, in both like our everyday life as well as like, through the practicing asana, even, sometimes I think maybe, but mostly this I think is like in your life that you start to realize like the karmic like impact, so again, I'm not going to claim that I know everything about this. This is what I'm working on. But so that eventually, we get to that fourth kosha. And so what happens is we're no longer attached to this earthly world anymore, and fear of death does drop away. And you know, we aren't producing karma anymore by our actions, and so depending on what you believe, you know, we don't come back to this world if you believe in reincarnation. But that's, you know, a personal thing. I don't think that has to be part of this system necessarily. For people who are of a different religion.